In this video, you will be creating an art history mashup from 4 separate artworks. Once you have downloaded the artworks from the Media Arts Share Drive found under Resources or dragged those 4 works to your desktop, you will want to open all 4 artworks with Photoshop. You can do this by holding down Shift, selecting the works, press Control-click on your keyboard, open with Photoshop, and all 4 works will open into Photoshop. Let's start with Van Gogh's Starry Night as our background. Because this is going to be our background and our final image, let's go ahead and save it. So let's go to File, Save As. You'll want to enter your last name, first name, and selection tool exercise. Oops. Okay. We are going to start with learning a little bit about the marquee tool. Now, there's several marquee tools. It's the second one down on your toolbar. Let's start with the elliptical marquee tool. Let's head over to Michelangelo's creation of Adam. You can see that using the marquee tool gives me a selection. Now, if I hold down Shift while I'm using the elliptical marquee tool, it gives me a perfect circle. So I've selected this angel's face. I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. Now I'm going to switch back to the tab with Van Gogh's Starry Night and select Edit and Paste. Here it is in the center of the image. You can also press Command V to paste it into the image. So I have 2 of the same image. Next, we're going to think about the quick selection tool. It's the third down on the toolbar. It might look like this paintbrush, or you might see an image of the magic wand. They're kind of piled up on each other. So we want to hold down Control, click on the quick selection tool, and that's what we're going to be using today. The shortcut for the magic wand or the quick selection tool is W, so you can also find it that way. Let's switch over to Michelangelo's David. And we're going to select Michelangelo's sculpture of David using the quick selection tool. So click anywhere on this image of David and you'll see that dotted line or outline starting to select David. So I'm working my way around the sculpture of David. I'm trying to avoid selecting the background. I just want the sculpture in this selection. As you can see, I have a little bit of the background down here and a little bit over here. One thing that would be helpful is going to the options bar and changing the size of the selection tool. Right now it's set to 28, and I'm going to move it down to about size 10. Anything smaller than that is going to be a bit tricky to work with, and then when we're working with the much larger size, we just cannot get the details that we want. So you see with the quick selection tool, right now it's a plus sign. If I hold down Option, I get a minus sign. I can go back into the selection and erase the parts of the background that I don't want. If I erase part of the selection that's actually in the sculpture, I can just let go of Option and select it. So you'll want to work with the quick selection tool, just getting an even selection. Once you have what you would like, again, go to Edit, Copy. You can also use the shortcut, which is Command C, and then go back to your final image and press Edit, Paste, or Command V. Now I have Michelangelo's David in my image. It's a little bit larger than I'd like, and the placement isn't quite right. So I'm going to use my move tool. And right now you see that show transform controls is selected. If it's not on yours, go ahead and click that check so that it shows up. I can go to the corner, hold down shift, and decrease the size of Michelangelo's David. I'm happy with that size, so I'll press return. Then I'm going to move him to an area of the image that just feels a bit more organic. Again, you can continue to use the marquee tool to decrease the size until you're happy with the placement. You'll notice that the bottom of your selection of David is cropped. Because of this, you want to be sure that he's placed somewhere at the bottom of the image, again, so that it feels more organic and believable. Going back to the creation of Adam, part of Michelangelo's fresco painting from the Sistine Chapel, I still have my previous selection. I want to deselect that, so I'm going to use the shortcut Command D. Let's take a look at the lasso tool. Underneath the lasso tool, we have the polygonal lasso tool and the magnetic lasso tool. The polygonal lasso tool allows you to create a really angular selection. Now, this doesn't work for our purposes today, but I'd like you to know it's there. Again, I'm going to press Command D and deselect that since I'm not using the polygonal lasso tool. What I do want to use is the magnetic lasso tool. This allows you to select around an image if it's pretty well defined from the background. I'm creating a series of points as I trace around this image. Now, you'll have to go fairly slowly, and you might want to zoom in as you're going around God's hand. So this is an image of God creating Adam at the beginning of the world. Again, take your time as you select around the hand. For our purposes, I'm going to go a bit quicker. It works really well when two colors are well defined, but you can see once you get to a softer area, it is a bit trickier. So tracing around that image. Okay, once I have the area selected that I want, I'm going to press Command C for paste, go to my selection tool exercise, Command V, sorry, that was Command C for copy. Now I'm going to press Command V for paste. And again, I can move it, change the size, place it where I'd like to in the image. Let's go to Andy Warhol's Tomato Soup. For this image, we are going to work with the Magic Wand tool. What's really great about the Magic Wand tool is I can select one spot on the image and it will create just a really quick selection. If I press Command C, I've copied, and I'm going to go back to the selection tool exercise, Command V, paste. So you can see what I actually selected was the background of the soup cans, not the soup cans itself. I'm going to go to Edit, step backward. That will be gone. Go back to the tomato soup. I still have my selection, and I can easily go to Select, Inverse, and now I have the tomato soup selected. Command C, back to my selection tool exercise, and place it where I would like. I can resize these, and I can also work with the layers of my image by moving them behind one another. So you can see as I bring the layer down on the layers panel, it goes behind some of the previous layers. That's great to use if you'd like to overlap some of your images. All right, In this video, we have learned about the Move tool, the rectangular marquee tool and the other marquee tools, the lasso tools, and the quick selection tool and the magic wand.